Ready?
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I'm kidding.
Sorry. No, are we PG?
It doesn't make a difference at this point. Jared just blew that shit out of the water.
Yeah.
Alright. Hey everybody, welcome to Once Bitten 360's YouTube coverage of the U.S. Masters. My name is Jerry P. and with me together are the South Chairman, John Bailey, Northeast Chairman, Keith B. Because I can't pronounce your last name.
It's okay.
But no,
But
Yeah, well that's easy enough.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's start simple. I mean, you guys are the chairman of your respective regions, and also you guys are the two head judges for this event, because it was important that we brought every region in to have a little part of the organization and running of the U.S. Masters. So starting with you, John, tell us a little about yourself and your involvement with the U.S. Masters, and you know, just in general.
Well, about myself, I mean, I've been running a grand tournament in San Antonio, the Alamo GT, for 10 years now.
Okay.
It would be the 10th anniversary. I travel around and go to a lot of tournaments myself. I'm a tournament player. I always believe that tournaments should be by players, for players, and I think this is the pinnacle of that. I think this is absolutely the best example of a tournament being run by players, for players. I think that's great. When I heard about this, I've been hoping something like this, like the Masters, would come around for many years. I've been trying to plant that seed, and other players from other regions, hey, we should have something like this. And I'm just glad it's happening.
Just took a force of will to make it
happen. So when you got it started, I was excited. I went out and I beat the bushes and grabbed my guys from our region and said, hey guys, this is an amazing opportunity.
And how's the South region responding to the fact that there's U.S. Masters? A lot of regions are having difficulties getting players to who were qualified to attend. Sure. Well, half with real life and the other half because just the differences between the regions, because they really are like separate countries. Have just you know, it can get antagonistic sometimes on forums. How's your region responded?
I think our region has responded really well. I mean, our meta is very different from other areas, and you know, I mean that's natural. So there's been a little bit of a process of me getting folks to rethink how they approach Warhammer, and we understand that people don't play Warhammer the way we play it everywhere, and that's okay. I mean that's fine. Yeah. That's good. Differences are good. Yeah. Let's you know. I'm amazed at how easily we found a common ground with the other regions in terms of rules, in terms of scenarios. I'm amazed how easily that came together.
Yeah, I think there were only a couple votes that were close as far as which way we wanted to go.
So Keith, jumping to you, I guess go ahead and give us a little bit about yourself, your involvement with the U.S. Masters. Go ahead.
Well, I've been running the Onslaught GT at TempleCon, which was 2 weeks ago. That was the third year I've run that. I started playing pretty much right around the beginning of 7th, and then I've played a lot since then. But as far as the U.S. Masters go, we kind of did a quick poll of some of the main TOs and guys, and we decided to have me step up and just try to help organize. I was in a position where our group decided that we already had an award for the best player over the whole GT season in the Northeast. We called the Overlord.
Right, which we saw.
Right, and then we just decided, why don't we just take the final placing for Overlord and just invite the top 10. So it was already there. All the GTs are already involved. And then everyone just felt like that was a good way to do it. As far as getting guys to come, I had, you know, it was very easy. I let everybody know, like the next 3 or 4 guys, I said, hey, you guys are next if anybody has any drops. So like I'll be in touch as quickly as possible if anything happens or if anyone can't come. Everybody wanted to go, and everybody who was on the wait list wanted to go.
Yeah, I would add that the Northeast is the only region that didn't suffer any drops. So you guys are pretty enthusiastic about the competitive part, right?
Well, also it's the whole thing that we were doing, like a Swede comp thing, was like a new puzzle to solve. Right. So I think everyone kind of got everybody's creative juices going and trying to
what list to make.
And a lot of guys, I mean, a couple of guys like it's not that they think they're the best, but they're very competitive and they're eager to have a chance to prove if they are the best or to find out.
And I'll add, this is the first time probably in history that there will be a U.S. champion, like the best of the best,
Yeah.
which I think is really unique.
Oh, I'm
kind
psyched
of
to
going
see
back.
that.
I think it's unique, but I hope people don't get too bent about that. I mean, it's not.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
no one's
yeah.
winning $1 million, but at the
Right.
same time, if we're measuring EPs or whatever you call it,
Yeah.
it would be kind of neat. I mean, to walk out crowned the best in the United States is pretty cool. You
Sure.
know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it's more important. I mean, to me, the reason that I got excited about it, that I went out and gathered the team, was what I'm hoping comes out of this is more cross attendance between regions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Really.
Well, I think
at our different GTs.
You go and you have a really competitive game and a great game against a guy you've never met before, who's also a guy that you will only see again if you travel or he travels. You know, that's sort of how it goes. And you might also just open up lines of communication with people.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Keith. Not to cut you off. The thing is, the Northeast region in particular, like all the other regions, have pretty good cross-pollination, and you guys obviously play more against the European guys than the other countrymen. And I think, putting names with faces, names with form handles,
exactly.
that will only benefit the U.S.
absolutely.
community as a whole.
I was actually, John and I were just talking about that, about the whole cross-pollination thing. It's hard because you don't want to tell events run by friends of yours or other TOs that you know, hey, I've decided to kind of skip your event this year because I want to go down to the foul intention GT in a month, kind of deal, that kind of thing.
Well, it's hard.
But at the same time, I don't want to, like I was just talking to, like, there's a lot of great events out there that I've never been to that I want to go to. And it's a simple thing, like, the guys in my region know I'm going to try to make it to as many events there as I can every year. And if I take one off to go do this one year, I'm definitely going to go to yours next year. If I can.
And I was telling Keith, I totally understand that. In our region, there's kind of an unspoken expectation that if you run a tournament, you go to everybody else's tournaments in your region.
Right.
I mean, that's just that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's how all the tournaments in your region get populated, is the various local groups get cross-populated like that. I do go to QCR every year. I think QCR is a great event, and we have good cross-pollination between South and West. I'd like to open that up with South and Northeast.
Well, I think Jordan and some of the other trailblazers had that probably about a couple of years back.
Sure.
But
Jordan's kind of a unique guy.
Yeah, he goes to, he'd be in every Northeast.
Not everybody has the freedom that Jordan has.
Yeah, God bless him, he's lucky. Okay, well, I guess talking about your individual regions, how would you, in a sum of a couple sentences, how would you say your regions, what's their play style? Like the West Coast, they're famous for the old home runs, like 12-inch charges, just roll the dice and go. You know what I mean? What would you say your regional tendencies are for play style, and what are they looking at bringing to the Masters?
I think there's two things that define South. South, we've been home to a lot of great painters. We have amazing painters. Guys that have been in White Dwarf, guys that have been in the GW catalog. I mean, we have the hobby side on that. Where we differ from the other regions is, it's a harder game of Warhammer. I mean, I understand comp, and I personally understand comp, and I agree with having comp. But in my region, it's a no comp region.
Right.
This is Texas, man. It is no holds barred. You bring what you can bring. You know, I mean, and that's how we play, and we understand. But we understand. I think we came to this understanding that other people play Warhammer differently, and that doesn't mean it's a better or worse style of Warhammer. It's just different. But we're willing to meet on this common ground, and I think that's the best thing about this event. Is there's so many different metas that have agreed to play on one playing field.
Right.
That's amazing.
Keith, what about you, man?
As far as my region, I mean, it's really varied. You end up usually with, like any GT, there's those 15 to 20 who have shot, and then there's everyone else who's really there to have a good time. And maybe it's like, I remember the first one I went to, I had no chance. Not because I wasn't good, but just like, I was like, wow, these lists are way harder than I thought. Like, I'm used to playing in my store, like that kind of thing. But we typically started putting in hard restrictions because there was the first GT after 8th drop was Crossroads for that year, and there was maybe 85, 90 players. And
now it's Purple Sunday's way to victory.
well, it wasn't even that. No, it wasn't Purple Sun yet. That was after.
Yeah.
The first year it was Dwellers everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
And it was games. People felt like games were over in 20 minutes. And it was just sort of like, you know what?
You knew it was.
This isn't something we really want to do.
Yeah,
it's fine if everybody. I mean, and that's not to say other regions do it wrong or whatever. It was just sort of like everyone in our group kind of said, "I'm not sure I like this game."
Right.
And some people vanish.
Because it's a lot of money.
Right. It's like, you know, and
you buy the models, you paint the models, and if they're picked up in like top turn one,
yeah.
Right.
So and then it doesn't. I mean, that was just sort of. I mean, everyone has a horror story at some point, and you find out ways to mitigate it. But at the same time, it was like, you know, it's just like. Just kind of felt kind of dumb to some of us, or something that like, this isn't necessarily the way I want to play. So we started to put in some hard restrictions or small rule changes to try to fix that. And that always ends up with other things suddenly becoming really good or broken. Like I remember when Ogres were new, and I was still trying to play my Skaven, and I still have like, I can only take one cannon. I can't take, you know, I can only take 2 out of the Brass Orb, the Doom Rocket, and the Storm Banner, and I can have at most like X of this, and in Ogres it's just like, do whatever you want, bro.
That's the hard thing, right? Is a TO. Once you start
changing
making rules of your own, well then you have to own them. They're yours. And then everybody, it goes on the forums, or actually the butthurt players that want to do that, go on the forums. Oh, this is a terrible event because they restrict this and they restrict that.
And we'll just jump on YouTube and say, you know, I mean,
well, one thing I'll say though is like a lot of the guys have been very responsive. If there's something that's clearly, like if the overwhelming response is this is a mistake, the TO will change it, or like the Unplugged GT guys, they put up a preliminary comp for their event this year, and I felt like it was very unbalanced because they were basically told a lot of people don't like playing gunline, so they comp gunline really hard. But like Warriors of Chaos, no comp.
Yeah, it's just
and it's like I'm like
the strongest list.
Yeah. And it's like I'm like, look, some armies that maybe are strength 3 and tough 3 might need some guns to help you with some of that stuff. So I said, look, if you're not going to do a balance, it's just better to do very minimal global rule changes, like a unit total point cap, and like maybe a lookout sort of thing for Dwellers, and max 12 dice so you're not Purple Sunday and getting another 12 dice back or whatever, and then just let it lie. You know? Right. The best thing is just to keep it even, and the easier way to do that is honestly to do less. But as far as the actions of my players, a lot of guys kind of take the, okay, this is what I'm allowed to take, I'm going to take the best damn thing I can take under this allowance.
Right.
And then as far as the strategies here, we actually had a pretty varied group of lists, but there was a lot of homework done and a lot of evaluation as far as what's my comp score versus how good is my list. And some little.
What I'm always surprised about is like, okay, so Alamo is what most people would call a no comp environment.
Right. Sure.
But the armies that win are not the cookie cutter armies. There'll be a Hengel with a Carnosaur.
Sure.
There'll be a Julian Lasange who's playing with us with a VC list that looks on, if you looked at it on paper, it's never going to win in a no
Soldier
comp.
Boy.
You're going to say, it's never going to win in a no comp. But it does. You know, so I have faith in the player more than the list.
Oh,
absolutely.
I mean, that's always true.
Yeah.
The problem is that when the good player runs into another good player, and then that, like round 4 or round 5, I was talking with Jerry about this on the internet. Every week when he's like, I'm going to do Tomb Kings. And I'm like, Jerry,
don't do it.
You can win 3 games, and then you're going to go up against a good guy who's playing Dark Elves or Warriors, and you're just going to get smoked.
Okay, all right. The good thing about the Masters, I would say, is everyone who's involved with the organization of it. I mean, everyone, like, it's a who's who. Everyone's, I've run 6 or 7 events, you run 10, you run events. Like, there's not even the assistants we have, or all tournament organizers. I mean, the talent level goes, deep.
What I like is the level of respect that we all have for each other. Immediately, everybody respected each other. And
anything antagonistic on the public forums, the organizer forums were smooth sailing. Man.
No problems. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, you two were picked as the judges. Because I want to get drunk and not worry about it, but you run Alamo, one of the largest tournaments of the United States. You're captain of the ETC team. You guys are used to making the hard decisions in very stressful environments. Because, let's face it, at the end of the day, we're all nerds, but we're here to win.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's good.
absolutely.
It's good
It's
to have
competitive.
fun.
Yeah.
It's good to have fun, but no one's flying from California or Samoa here to get.
And you deserve to have,
you know what I mean?
have your game right.
So, what do you guys were looking at from the rules judge aspect? What are how are you guys going to handle it, like as a whole? I mean, I know we've got the FAQs, we got one printed out for every table. And when do you really step in? Like, if there's two players playing something wrong, do you step in and interrupt them, or do you let them play it out?
It really depends what it is. If it's something very minor, I would just let it roll. There's no if they're having a good time and it's minor, it doesn't.
If it looks like it's
affect the
game breaking, though.
If it's game breaking, you gotta step in because you gotta. Ultimately, we're all here playing Warhammer. Everyone should be playing the same version of Warhammer, which means play by the rules.
I would err on the side of not stepping in, but yeah, like
if
he says,
you have to make
if
an
it's going to
evaluation
change the game,
on what's happening.
if I think it's going to change the game, I've got to say something.
You also try to be proactive.
But we can't be everywhere.
Well, you gotta encourage people to say like, hey, because we have 2 hours and 45 minutes. You know, that's not including setup time. If you have an issue, call it. Like, we're gonna run over. We'll try to get it done as soon as we can. If there's truly like a unique thing that we've never seen before that takes a while, we'll give you 10 minutes of the break. You know, if it's something that has to happen to make it work. The biggest thing is always slow play. It's hard to know when that's happening for real and when it's just these guys are just kind of slow.
And we've talked about that.
But
so we're going to walk around and try to generally get a sense of
keep an eye on
how fast games are moving, and if we see one that's like
lagging behind,
come on guys, you guys, come on. Not pick anybody out, but just go, guys, you really need to move this along.
I mean, well, considering that we got like 50 of the top guys in the country, everyone should know what rules pretty well, right? You know, I mean, and of course there's the inter-region,
but that's
translations,
right? I mean, that means if they call a judge over, it means that two very good players could figure it out.
So hopefully, I mean, you hope the easy ones they can answer themselves.
Right. Well, we're in safeguards.
I'm thinking a lot of them are going to come from the regional differences in meta play from the FAQ that we're working under. And so I mean, I went out to my guys and I tried to highlight, hey guys, South guys, this is where the FAQ is different from how I see South people usually play. So y'all need to be very aware of that in your games.
I told my guys if they call me over,
we try it.
Well, I mean, I think there should be immune. Like the Northeast guys can't call you, the South guys can't call you, and I mean, unless the other guys the other judge is just unavailable. But I mean, and of course,
let's just call over a judge.
Yeah.
If the guy feels like I'm being biased,
exactly.
We'll figure this out together and get it done.
Yeah, because we want the complete, absolute transparency that everyone's getting a fair shake, and we're not going to leave anything on the table to be, confused by people to get butthurt.
We haven't really talked about it, Keith, but I think on table 1, round 5, if there's an issue that's serious, I think we both need to be on it. You know, it needs to be a 2-judge thing, so we absolutely.
Also, probably 2 and 3 because depending because the 20-0 system, there's some leapfrog. You got to watch all the top guys and make sure.
Well,
I mean, I think the bottom line is, Keith, I think back me up on this. We really want it to be right. I don't care who wins. I want it to be right.
Right, and that's the most important thing. I mean, it has to be fair across the board. I mean, the possibility for this event that could that's really uniting the U.S. community go sour because of one missed call on your guys' part.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
On their part, one blown call could really sour entire regions. And I mean, there's
could destroy the entire interview.
And then it might go down.
Rage.
Larry will show up. He's angry for no reason. We're like, Larry, no one's talking about you.
That's his happy face. That's not his angry face. That's his sad part.
All right,
that's how thankless this fucking job is. I hope you people appreciate it.
Shutting it down. Let's look at this. You first, John. What would you say are your heavy hitters for your region coming in here? What do you like your region's chances? How do you think your best guys are going to do against the field? Like, who are your best players?
I think this is a tough challenge for my region because the Swedish comp and the FAQ are very different from how my guys are used to playing. So they have some things to overcome. I think Jason Johnson is probably the guy to watch from my region.
Except the Iron Curtain.
The Iron Curtain. The nicest guy you've ever played a game of Warhammer with, ever in your life, I guarantee you. You may think you've had your funnest game of Warhammer, but you haven't until you play Jason. But he's a consummate general.
Yeah. He's got a good list.
Very good.
17.8 comp. I mean, against average comp, I think the average comp turned out to be like 10.8. He's good 700 points.
I think he's the guy to watch from South.
I'm very curious to see how that
Second
plays.
behind him would be Julian Lasange, the French player.
French Connection, right?
Yeah, the French Connection. The French Connection. I like that. I'm gonna call him that from now on. The French Connection. I think those are our two top players, probably.
Yeah, well, Julian got a terrible matchup round one. He actually got
He does have a bad
mismatched. His count was actually higher, and then there was
He's got dwarves, right?
no, he's got the walking vampire on RB.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's playing against Light Council. So
Yeah.
if he can get through that one, if he can get through that one, he's playing Ryan Caps, who came in really high at Buckeye Battles, which is another 100-person event.
Yeah.
If he can smoke Ryan, he might be in good shape. But I mean, that's
I'm
the
not speaking of
hardest
matchups. I'm just saying
challenge
who
first.
are our best players?
Yeah.
Are probably Julian.
Yeah,
and
Julius and Jason. What about you, Keith? Who do you like from your region? What are the shots?
There's a lot of really good generals, so it's hard. I think Jarrett playing Bretonians, he's one of his 5 games is going to have a bad match. And that's
So you both picked a Bretonian guy?
no, I'm saying Jarrett's not going to make it. I think at some point Bretonian's going to be a little too dicey sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a bad break check or a bad panic,
Happened to me in the
you're
Southeast
done.
Masters.
You're
That
done.
got raped.
And he seems more susceptible to that than most of the other lists. I like Jake's list a lot. I helped him write it.
Yeah, not because he's a clubman, right?
Yeah, no, because he's a clubmate.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like Josh because he's playing demons, and I think they should just be banned. Get rid of them. They're garbage. Reign of comedy.
Yeah.
Reign of comedic errors.
Yeah.
Funny that they're both each playing another demon player round 1. So
That'll
who knows who's going to win that?
That'll teach him. Won't do that again, will it?
I think Alex of everyone in the field probably kind of solved the Swede puzzle the best.
Yeah.
And then Corey copied.
He's playing my list.
I thought
Because I brought
it was
I brought-
very kind to Brett.
It is. No, it is very kind
Yeah,
of Brett's.
and I think that's why
No,
Jason chose to
absolutely.
bring his Brett.
I don't think they're a bad choice. I just
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I just think they're less
Sweden
likely
is
to
very
say
evil
no.
to beast. I'm a beastman.
Yeah.
Not
and-
surprised. Not surprised.
Sweden was evil.
But it's a living document, and that's the great thing. Like the inconsistencies, like with the Ogre Kingdom list. One of my clubmates, Owen, his combo jumped 5 points up. Whereas Alex, they got the Dark Elves right, but they lost 4. So it's self-correcting, and that's the beauty of that system. Is because every 3 months,
I do
or
like
after every book,
That's one of the
it's-
beauties. The other beauty is none of us made it.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
yeah, exactly.
So it's
I actually
it's something
qualified.
nobody
I
can
don't
say.
think any of the players other than your region have ever played
Played
Swede
ever?
before. Yeah.
Really, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever did the active comp. With
No,
the
we
EP
did the
differential
old. We did the
before.
Oh, we've
old
never
school. We did the old school
anything
version.
like
Right.
We did the.
This is very new ground for my.
Because
I think a lot of lists are awesome, and there's a lot of people who took different strategies, and I'm really excited to see
Yeah,
who actually
figured it out.
picked it
What was
right.
hilarious to me is like, I was talking to my guys and I was like, guys, I think the average is going to be around 12, 11 or 12.
You got it pretty close.
Yeah, and
I thought it was gonna be lower.
oh no, man, people are going to bring 3s and 4s and
That's what we
no,
thought.
So they
I
can't.
don't think
They're
gonna do that.
two main points behind it.
Yeah,
The
nah,
system we're using.
I picked 11, 12 is
Yeah.
where I thought it
We
was.
talked.
And I was spot on.
We talked, and we thought if you got below an 8, you're really possibly hurting yourself. So that was kind of like a floor. Like if you go below an 8, you're really risking.
Yeah, because at 8,
you know?
you're only 600 points behind the 14, but the difference in power between an 8 list and a 14
Right.
is massive.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
massive.
yeah.
Well, again, thanks everybody for tuning into YouTube One Spin 360's channel. This is Keith and John, and this
guys.
is US Masters Covers. Thanks again. Bye. Cool. Good job, guys.
I'm done.
Alright.
Yeah, you were actually officially done.
You've done 2 tours, right?
Yeah.
You're done. I am fucking wish I was done myself.